Alright, good morning everybody. Hope you've had a good morning so far. Was woken up by a pretty nasty thunderstorm, but that's always pretty cool. In this one, we're just going to be going over gold and Nasdaq from those two videos I put out last night. So gold, we can see it's chugging along higher towards that buy side liquidity pool, right, coming from this order block. Drop into the hourly, we had that one area mapped out, which when we were talking about it, it was kind of right in here. And I wanted to see this breaker and this for value gap be what supports price for this higher run. It ended up dipping in pretty early during the week, right? Late Sunday, early on Monday. We ended up making a low on there. It came down, swept it, colored outside the lines just a little bit, but then from there started tracking higher. We have this fair value gap, and then this would also be a breaker as well, because we go low, high, lower low, and then it runs out the premium high of that breaker candle in here and makes a gap nested on that area, dips into that, and you can see we are starting to chug along higher towards that. But on the 5 minute, it's not a whole lot to be crazy about, right? With the calendar conditions, this was probably a day we were just gonna let sit and pass, but even right here, when we were trading inside of that recent fair value gap, came into it, left relative equal lows, took that out, reached below there, no. The bodies respected the 50% mark of that wick, and then popped up higher. There's our displacement, balance price range in here, fair value gap, filled that. This low stayed intact, and then we had right in here, chugged up higher. So gold played out alright, dipped through this a bit more than I was anticipating. Come to Nasdaq, I guess, yeah, we'll stay on the hourly. So Nas, when we were talking about that, it was somewhere down in here. I was talking about how I wanted to see it draw up into this area, get on top of it, and then come down and use it as support to stage a run higher into this buy side liquidity, fill in some of the SIBI range, which we have done that, so that's nice. And then checking this out on the 5 minute, you can see it's not the nicest price action. We did get on top of it right here, and then we came back down in. I wanted to see this part left open. Didn't do that. This wasn't the nicest price action, so I'd chalk this off to the conditions, right? We still have Powell testifying in about 25 minutes, so those underlying conditions before that drops is why we have some seek and destroy like price action right in here, where it just kind of pinballs back and forth, and then within 10 minutes we have this taking out all this buy side and then all the sell side down here. It didn't get quite back to the new week opening gap, and all the bodies stayed within here, so that's a good signature to see. And then it didn't really give much, it just kind of rated the lows and started running away higher. 1 minute, I wonder if I would have had a setup. Potentially in here, but again, don't really like it because if we're to look at it from this perspective, kind of it's like high resistance conditions. You can get in, but you're going to experience a lot more drawdown. It's going to take more time to get to your targets, whereas I like just a nice quick sudden run. So pretty happy with how we mapped it out and how we wanted to track this thing. Wasn't really any opportunities this morning for me personally. just because the calendar and what the conditions looked like, but that's a good start to the week. It's always nice when you can map something out like that and, from down here have an anticipation for something and then see it the next morning play out where you wanted to see it and then draw where you want to see it draw to. So, yeah, we'll stay tuned with this, see what we got later tonight, getting set up for tomorrow morning, and we'll see what opportunities we got there. So, talk to you next time. Take care.